Hello, everyone. My name is Ati Alipur, and I'm an attorney in New York. In this video, we are going to go over H-1B visa lottery registration and how attorneys can add companies and enter the beneficiaries into the lottery. Here, the first step would be to have an online USCIS account. Through that online USCIS account, you can just check the information of your clients. In this case, there are no clients. We want to start, so I'm going to walk you through the whole process from the beginning. Let's say a company approaches you and you want to add them to your account in order to enter the beneficiaries into the lottery registration. You click Add a client to my account. Remember, the client for H-1B purposes is always the company. You add the name of the company. If there is a DBA, you add the DBA as well. Add client. Now the client is added to your account as sample company, but there are no forms yet. So you start a form. If you're registering for H-1B, this is going to be the form. And when you start, this is now the page for H-1B registration. So you have to, again, input the information of the client, which is the company. If there are no DBA, you click here. If there's one, you just add the DBA. Then EIN number and the address. This is the address that the client provides as the address of the company. The next step is the information of the authorized signatory. It can be any of the representatives of the company, for example, HR director, HR rep. It can be CEO, co-founder, or founder, depending on what the client provides you with. You add the name of the company rep. And the title of that person, the phone number, and an email address. It is important to add the email address that the client have used or is going to use for creating an online USCIS H-1B account. Because when you finish this process, the client needs to log into their own account, review everything you have provided with, for example, G28, H-1B registration, and confirm everything on their own online account. So this email has to be the same email address. Then you add the beneficiary. Let's say the beneficiary is Ben, and the last name is applicant. If the beneficiary qualifies for master's cap, which gives a higher possibility of being selected in the lottery, you have to click yes here. If not, you have to click no. And let's say the company that the beneficiary company, country of birth and country of citizenship, it can be the same country or it can be two different countries. Let's say in this scenario, we have a beneficiary, for example, from UK, then you add United Kingdom. and the passport number. Now you have saved the entry for the applicant. Remember, the fee you have to pay is not based on the number of the companies you register. For each company, you have to pay a $10 fee based on the beneficiary. For example, if one of the companies you're registering has 5 applicants, you need to have $50 as the fee. If another company has 10, that's going to be $100. In this scenario, we only have one beneficiary for the sample company. You can add up to 250 registration per submission. If you want to make any changes, now is your chance to edit or delete. If you don't have any changes, the next step would be to check for duplicates. It is important to check for duplicates and make sure that there is only one registration for every beneficiary, because having more than one registration will cause denial. So after you make sure of this, you go to the next step. It shows how much the fee would be, if there are any alerts or warnings. It shows you here. There are none here, so we can just click next. Remember, if after submission of everything you figure there was a mistake and there's no more kind of chance like this to edit because you have already submitted or you have submitted and paid, you can delete the registration and basically start a new registration. And that new registration will not be considered a duplicate if there's only one and the old one is already deleted. Just be mindful of the deadline of the registration though. At this point, you have entered all the information for the company, you have entered all the information for the beneficiary, so the registration is now complete. The next step would be to create the G28 so that you are added as the representative of the company. Now we start G28. The information here is the information of the attorney. Now you have to provide your contact information, email address, fax number, and your office address, or the address that you use as your office address, if it's your home address. So now you have to complete the name of the client, information for the client. So it's asking for the first name and last name of the client, but the client was a company. Here you need to enter the information of the representative. So as you saw before, we had the HR director, Jane Doe. Now again, the same information. So you're putting again the information in that you already did, but that was for lottery H-1B registration. This is for G28. So you have to, there is a kind of a repetition here. So if the client has a number, USCIS online account number, you input that as well. A lot of times the clients do have the account, but they don't have access to the account number because the account is new, they have never filed anything, or for a variety of reasons that might be the case. In this scenario, you can just click, the client does not have a online USCIS account number, and that will not affect the next steps. You will still have the code that you will provide to the client so that they can log in and review your work. You'll have one last chance to review the G28 information. If you confirm everything, you can just sign and submit. Then now you're at the end of the process. H-1B registration is completed for the first step. The second step would be to provide this one-time passcode to your client. Now the client has to go log in to their own online USCIS H-1B registration account. Click, I have a registration, I have a representative code, and then enter this code. Everything will show up, they can review, they can approve G28, and they can sign H-1B registration. So when you go to your client's information here, you don't need to necessarily ask them if they have approved, because everything will also show here to you. First of all, you can always view everything in PDF format. You can access the code again here. If the client signs, it says here that you have the client who has approved your G28 and signed the H-1B registration. At that point, you can pay online. It can be by credit card, by online account, by a bank account, and after payment, the registration is complete. I hope you find this video helpful, and I wish you best of luck with your H-1B registrations. Thank you for watching this video.